Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome. I welcome you all to this lecture in the course Samāsa in Pāṇinian Grammar 2. As is our practice, we begin our lecture with the recitation of the Mangalacharana. Vishvesham Satchidanandam Vandeham Yokhilan Jagat Charikarti Bari Bharti Sanjariharti Leelaya. Vishvesham Satchidanandam Vandeham Yokhilan Jagat Charikarti Bari Bharti Sanjariharti Leelaya. In the previous lecture, we studied the theory of Karaka. We studied the sutras which describe each Karaka stated in the Ashtadhyayi. There are 6 Karakas and there are 7 Vibhaktis which are stated in the Ashtadhyayi. We also concluded by saying that it is these Karakas which are the Pratyayarthas which act as the core meaning element as far as the sentence meaning is concerned. Because it is these meanings which link the meanings of different Prakritis and their meanings, Prakritis and Prakrityarthas. And therefore, it is on the basis of this Karaka theory that we proceed in understanding the theory of compound formation. We stated earlier that the theory of compound formation can be generally called as Samartha theory. In this lecture, let us try to understand what is Samartha. Now, there are 2 meanings of Samartha available to us straight away. The first one is capable of, and second one is having the same meaning. Samaha Arthaha, capable of and having the same meaning. So when we have the first meaning, namely capable of, what we mean is that the capable of expressing the interconnected meanings. A word unit which is capable of expressing the interconnected meanings. So, a Pratipadika by itself is not Samartha. From the point of view of one position, as it cannot express the interconnected meanings on its own, in other words, without the pratyaya getting added to it. It has to be a pada, that is a subanta, and in other cases it has to be a tinganta, which is then capable of expressing the interconnected meanings. So, Samartha refers to capable of expressing the interconnected meanings. For example, Pitambaraha Kashim Gacchati. Pitambara is an example of a Bahuvrihi compound. This means Hari goes to Kashi. In this sentence and the sentence meaning, Pitambara is linked with the action of going, denoted by the verbal root gama, which is part of gachati, as doer of the action of going, agent or kartru. Kashi is linked with the action of going, denoted by the verbal root gama, which is also part of gachati, as destination or object or karman. So Pitambara and Gama, as well as Kashi and Gama, are interrelated, interlinked semantically. But as we have already seen, they are not eligible to be compounded because they both, Pitambara and Gama, as well as Kashi and Gama, both are not ending in sup pratyayas. Pitambara ends in sup pratyaya, but Gam ends in ting pratyaya. Kashi ends in sup pratyaya, but Gama ends in ting pratyaya. And we have already seen that a compound in Sanskrit is possible only between two subantas and not between a subanta and a tinganta. The only two subantas in this sentence, Pitambara, Pitambaraha and Kashim, which have Pratipadikas Pitambara and Kashi, can be said to be ending in sups, but they are not interlinked. They are not Samartha, and therefore they are not eligible to be compounded. Similarly, we have Pitambaraha Kashim Rathena Gachati. Hari goes to Kashi by a chariot. Along with Pitambara and Kashi, here Ratha is linked with the action of going, denoted by the verbal root gama as an instrument or karana. But like Pitambara and Kashi, Ratha also cannot be compounded with Gama because Ratha and Gama, they both are not ending in sups. Similarly, Pitambara, Kashi and Ratha, these are the Pratipadikas which are ending in sups, but they are not interlinked. Therefore, they are not samarthas and are not eligible to be compounded. Now we have another sentence with some additional elements. Pitambaraha Kashim Rathena Pujanaya Prayagat Kartikamase Gachati. Meaning, Hari goes to Kashi by a chariot in the month of Kartika from Prayaga for worship. Now, along with Pitambara, Kashi and Ratha, as we have seen before, Pujana, Prayaga and Kartika Masa, they are linked with the action of going, denoted by the verbal root Gama as Sampradana, Apadana and Adhikarana respectively. Pujana is linked with the action of going as Sampradana, and therefore it has got Chaturthi Vibhakti, Pujanaya. Prayaga is linked with the action of going as Apadana, and it has got Panchami Vibhakti, Prayagat. Similarly, Kartika Masa is linked with the action of going as Adhikarana, and it has got Saptami Vibhakti, Kartika Mase. But like Rama, Kashi and Ratha, Pujana, Prayaga and Kartika Masa each cannot be compounded with Gama because they are not ending in sups. Pujana, Prayaga and Kartika Masa, they are ending in sups, but Gam does not end in sup. It ends in Ting Pratyaya. Like Pitambara, Kashi and Ratha, Pujana, Prayaga and Kartika Masa are ending in sups, but they are not interlinked. They are not Samartha and therefore are not eligible to be compounded. To take a recap, we have a complete sentence over here, which is Pitambaraha Kashim Rathena Pujanaya Prayagat Kartikamase Gachati. And the meaning is, Hari goes to Kashi by a chariot in the month of Kartika from Prayaga for worship. Now here we have the padas, also demarcated from each other by using the square brackets. There are two main square brackets indicating that this is a sentence having other square brackets inside. So Pitambaraha plus Kashim plus Rathena plus Pujanaya plus Prayagat plus Kartika Mase plus Gachati. This is what is this sentence. Now, the same sentence can be rewritten with the help of the Prakriti Pratyaya format. So, Pitambaraha can be rewritten as Pitambara plus Su. Kashim can be rewritten as Kashi plus Rathena can be rewritten as Ratha plus Ta. Pujanaya can be rewritten as Pujana plus Nge. Prayaga can be rewritten as Prayaga plus Ngasi. Kartika Mase can be rewritten as Kartika Masa plus Ngi. And finally, Gachati can be rewritten as Gama plus Ti. All these elements, Su, Ta, Nge, Ngasi, Ngi and Ti, they are part of Pāṇinian grammar. They are in fact the pratyayas. They are in fact the vibhakti pratyayas, where Su, Ta, Nge, Ngasi and Ngi, these are the sup pratyayas, and Ti is a ting pratyaya. Obviously, these sup pratyayas do express the karakas, the interrelation between the pratipadika-arthas. We have some observations to make over here. 1. Sup and ting, even though are interlinked, are not compounded. The meanings of the nominal roots playing different roles in the accomplishment of the action denoted by the verbal root are linked to the meaning of the verbal root, but are not compounded when the verbal root ends in a ting. This is very important, as we have observed that the meanings of the nominal roots, which play different roles in the accomplishment of the action denoted by the verbal root. For example, Pitambara is playing the role of karta, Kashi is playing the role of karma, Ratha is playing the role of karana, Pujana is playing the role of sampradana, Prayaga is playing the role of apadana, and Kartika Masa is playing the role of adhikarana in the accomplishment of the action of going denoted by the verbal root. So these are different roles in the accomplishment of the action denoted by the verbal root indicated by the respective vibhaktis. Now, these meanings are linked to the meaning of the verbal root but are not compounded when the verbal root ends in a thing. The second observation is that the meanings of the nominal roots playing different roles in the accomplishment of the action denoted by the verbal root, which are linked to the meaning of the verbal root, are not interlinked with each other. I repeat, the meanings of the nominal roots, Pitambaraha, Kashim, Rathena, Pujanaya, Prayagat, Kartika Mase. The meanings of these padas and the nominal roots inside, which play different roles in the accomplishment of the action, denoted by the verbal roots, which are linked to the meaning of the verbal roots, are also not interlinked with each other, and hence are not Samartha, and hence are not eligible for compounding. These are two crucial observations for us to make. So, in conclusion, we can say that the Karaka system is at the base of the process of compounding only as a very general basic background. In other words, Karaka system acts as the skeleton structure of the sentence. Now, this sentence can stand on its own without the compounds. But it is this same structure which also holds the load of the compounds. Compounds are fitted into this basic sentence structure prepared by this Karaka theory. These are the texts referred to. Thank you very much.